fans will be on hand at the home of the Tigers, and a lot of them, they've made it from Texas. More than one busload is here, and they're making their presence known and looking at maybe the Heisman winner. Vince Young will be at quarterback. They are ranked number 2 in the nation. They are the Longhorns of Texas. They take on a Missouri team 2-1 right now, looking for the upset here today. With that Cunningham, I'm Gary Thorne. Welcome, everybody. This is going to be a game of quarterbacks. It is also the first game of the Big 12 for both of these teams. It is on Missouri's home field, but can they stop Vince Young?
That's been the question. That's been the question for a long time for foes of Missouri. They know that last year, 28-20 was the final score, and it was not a very good game by Vince Young. Texas ended up winning, but Vince Young was benched in the second half for Chance Mock, and a lot of people around Austin thought, is his career as a quarterback at Texas over? Mac Brown thought not. He made a tape of all of the highlights of Vince Young in high school and at Texas and said, you need to be you. And he said, Coach, I want a little more responsibility. I want to be able to dance during pre-games. I want to have fun. And look at the improvement since last year at Missouri. And nobody can forget the two big ones, Michigan in the Rose Bowl, the MVP, and the fourth quarter comeback against Ohio State. Things have changed drastically for Vince Young since last year against Missouri.
And what makes it interesting is both of these quarterbacks can both run and throw the football. And Brad Smith may be just as good as Young in some of those categories, maybe even better.
And he was difficult year last year, but he's back on pace again this year. Last year, in an offense that this staff had run since 1997, with an offensive line that had trouble blocking, his numbers were down drastically. They went out and studied Bowling Green, Utah, a few schools like that. They now run the spread offense with an option element, and it's the rushing numbers of Brad Smith. His percentage in passing, much better in completions, but it's the rushing that's been the difference. If Missouri is going to beat Texas, it's got to be on the legs of Brad Smith. Keep the ball in his hands.
You're going to love some of the sets you see. They are most unusual. How will Texas react to the Tigers' changed offense? That's what we're going to find out. College football on ABC. Missouri taking on Texas. Ready to go when we come back. Will it be the Hook'em Horns or the Tiger Roar? To Texas looking to maintain that standing, and Missouri looking for the upset. Texas 3-0 in the games played so far. Missouri is 2-1. Texas won the toss. They have deferred. Missouri ready to go. Mac Brown hoping his team can be 4-0. Texas 25 kickoffs, 8 for touchbacks. See if that happens here. Dominique Johnson will be deep. Nope, this one's going to be brought back. That'll be handled at the 3-yard line. Missouri in the dark uniforms and not very far. Maybe will be credited to the 15-yard line. Great coverage. Michael Griffin moved in and put the hit on, and it'll be a first down and 10, and we're underway.
And if you haven't had a chance yet to see Brad Smith operate in this new offense, you're in for a treat. 4 wide receivers. They took a little bit from everywhere, from Bowling Green, from Utah. They've added a no-huddle element. You've got to be on your toes if you're watching. They will try to snap the ball sometimes with as little as 20 seconds left on the play clock. They can change the play at the line of scrimmage, and this offense really suits Brad Smith well.
Brad Smith, 16th in the nation in rushing, averaging 6.3 yards per carry. He's going to get an early start. Texas knows he's going to carry the ball. They'll try and get him. He'll be good for a couple of yards on that one. Let's take a look at the Ameriprise starting lineups. You're going to see Woods do any carrying. Coffey is back after missing 2. He is a deep receiver and will be important in this game. The offensive line, look here, Klinger, Cook, their side may be tested because they are young starters for this team. That'll bring up a second down and a long yardage. Second down and 8. Ball spotted at the 17. A lot of movement. Flags are down. The throw over the middle is going to be incomplete at the 20-yard line, but you saw the movement going on there. Martin Rucker, the tight end, was the intended, but it'll go incomplete. Now we're going to see what the call is. Our referee today, Walter Davenport, heading up the officials in this Big 12 matchup.
Offsides. Defense
we can lip read, and we can also go by signals. We know that's an offside, and we know the way he pointed it was on Texas. Let's take a look at the Texas line. This is a very tough line. Crowder, in particular, will be in on a lot of tackles if he is on today. Harris in the middle. He is their leader in tackles so far this season. And in the secondary, Huff, career 4 touchdown interceptions. And they are experienced. This will bring up a second down and 4 after they mark it off out of the shotgun. Brad Smith will go into the flats on the left side to the 20. Fumbled, but recovered at the 25. Chase Daniel, who is the backup quarterback, was also the receiver.
This is a play that they put in this week. Dave Christensen, the offensive coordinator, it's something they've been working with, and they put Chase Daniel, a true freshman from Texas, who they're very excited about, into the game, and they put Brad Smith behind some receivers, and Brad's got to have a little more ball control, but he does end up picking up the first down.
Now look at this spread. This is what you're going to see all day. They really spread the Texas defense. 3 receivers near side. Fumble on the snap. Gets it under a rush and throws it wildly. Intercepted Texas 25-20. Down to the 15, the 10, the 5, and out of bounds Aaron Harris, the middle linebacker. And a very bad decision by Brad Smith, who throws the interception.
Well, this all started with the snap. Brad did not get a good snap from the center. Adam Speaker. And the play was just off from the beginning. And then pressure, it's going to come from the left side of the offensive line as Crowder throws down the left tackle, and Brad Smith needed to settle himself down. He tried to rush that throw with a bad snap. He needed to settle himself down, maybe pull it and run. And you're right, early on that was a bad decision. He needed to hold on to that thing.
Jamal Charles, the freshman, is in the backfield. Keep an eye on him today, number 25. That'll be carried into the end zone. Touchdown. Well, that didn't take long. Charles is a freshman playing in his 4th game. He has already scored 5 rushing touchdowns.
He's a guy that they had to get going when Selvin Young, their junior starter, got injured against Ohio State, and this young man has picked up this offense so well, and it's a turnover early in the game. Missouri, even though they're at home, cannot have mistakes like that on their end of the field.
Turnover touchdown. Took only 1 play for Texas, and that is exactly what they wanted to start the game, especially when you're on the road, because that will quiet the crowd. David Pino puts that one up. He's 11 out of 12 on point afters, and it didn't take long. A turnover, a run by the freshman, and a 7-0 lead. Brad Smith, the 3rd that he has surrendered this season. Texas outscoring their opponent's first quarter 44-3, and for Missouri's head coach Gary Pinkel, that is not the start he wanted to see. You get a team here on your own home turf that's ranked number 2. The last thing you want is an early mistake, which that was, and an opportunistic advance on 1 play by Texas to put it in. Missouri will get it back. Johnson again will be deep on the kick. Rossett puts a foot into that one. Johnson again will take it way back at the 1-yard line. Great coverage by Texas again. And down at the 13, Eric Jackson moved in and put the hit on for Gary Pinkel, telling us, look, we've got an opportunity here against the number 2 team. That's what we've got to be looking at.
Found out on that first series, and Brad Smith, senior quarterback, more starts than any quarterback active in Division 1A. That was just a poor decision. He needed to pull it down. That play was ugly from the start.
Again, out of the shotgun, he'll carry. Flags are down. He takes it up over the 20. It'll be enough for a first down and then some at the 25. So we've got to check on the flag, which was in the backfield. He can run the football. That's 6.3 yards per rush this season. Robert Killebrew bought him down. And you know, right now he's got to reach down and recover here, because he knows that was a bad play.
Yeah, and we met him yesterday. He's a graduate. And he's got a degree in business marketing.
Nice. Defense number 92. Decline. Result of the play, first down.
He's working on his graduate degree. He's a very calm young man, very intelligent. And their quarterbacks and cornerbacks all need to have a lack of short-term memory. They just need to flush the bad ones and come back out, and I have a feeling he'll settle down very quickly.
He ran for the first down, gain of 11. It'll bring up a first down at 10. Again, the 3 receivers to the near side. Almost another high snap. Looked like he was going to run. Tried to fool the defense. Wide open field. 25-30. 35 first down out of bounds at the 39. Everybody for Texas had moved to the near side. Michael Griffin, the junior, after a 15-yard gain, gets him out of bounds.
Well, Dave Christensen works as the offensive coordinator and the offensive line coach. He has got to talk to his center, Adam Speaker. Get him settled down. You talk about Brad Smith settling down. That's another bad snap. But they roll the pocket. somebody from Texas needs to stay home. Gene Chizik, the defensive coordinator, the other day on the phone was saying it's hard because you want your guys playing fast, but they have to stay home. The backside defensive end against a guy like Brad Smith cannot pursue too flat down the line of scrimmage.
It'll be another first down at 10. 2 first downs so far on this drive that started back at the 13-yard line. Again out of the shotgun. Wants to bring the man in the backfield. This Woods back. Handoff will come to the near side up over the 40. A big hole and up near midfield at the 48-yard line. Boy, when you've spread the defense the way they have, Marcus Woods may have some room. Roderick Wright got him. Coming up, second half of our college football thing on our pregame show. This is a chance, a Saturday, where there could be some upsets, and this game's included in that, even though Texas has jumped up. See the spacing? Look at the defensive linemen. I mean, they're about 8 yards apart down there.
And that's something that Texas Tech does with their offensive line. The idea being, get guys, the defense, their whole idea is gap control. Let's take a gap and control it. Well, if you make those gaps wider, it makes them harder to control them.
Texas has taken advantage of the interception thrown by Brad Smith for the touchdown, and they have the early 7-0. Temperature is going to be in the mid-70s in the sun. It'll be 80 degrees today, and as we go along, could have an impact on players in the field. It's a warm day.
Texas, talking to their guys, it seems like this team has finally learned how to finish. That was one of the problems early in Mac Brown's career against tough opponents. They didn't know how to finish, but they've learned, and they learned it last year against Oklahoma State, the biggest comeback in Texas history. Came back from 35-7. He said, Ed, from that moment forward, it's like this team has really learned how, especially in the fourth quarter, to turn it on.
They beat Ohio State, of course, this year on the option, carried up over midfield to the 45-yard line. That is William Franklin, a sophomore, on the carry, and a gain of 7. Let's check in with John for 2 here on the road, and they too are up 7-0 out of the shotgun. Looking over the middle, that'll be incomplete, and he had a man open at the 35-yard line. That's the ball Brad Smith should have been able to put into the hands.
You know, we saw that in the play that he threw the interception. Settle in. He looks fine when he's running it. He's gotten his completion percentage over 60% for the first time in his career in this offense, and that time he just rushed the throw. You don't always have to set your feet. You don't have to look pretty doing it, but just settle yourself down, take another beat, and that needs to be a completion for a first down.
Second down at 10. He is 67% completion rate coming into the game. Back in, looking deep, sideline turn, got it, first down. Out of bounds at the 32-yard line. Sean Coffey. Left shoulder problem kept him out of the last 2 games. He is their primary deep receiver.
And this is a guy that they dearly needed back. Coffey, who set a Missouri record last year with 10 touchdown receptions, is their deep threat. And he's also 6'5". That ball was thrown a little bit high, but Coffey goes up and even with a bad shoulder makes a nice catch.
First down and 10. Again, you got the quarterback Chase Daniel, who's come in as a receiver with Brad Smith at quarterback. No, he's going to throw the ball. Here's Brad Smith near side. Texas read it. He gets leveled. Incomplete. Another trick play, and there are flags down on it.
Yeah, they're going to get illegal men down the field. The offensive line thinking that ball was going to be thrown back to Chase Daniels. It was a quarterback to quarterback. Throw to the right, throw back to the left, and the offensive lineman thinking that the throw was going to be behind the line of scrimmage were down the field.
Ed, you get the thought early that maybe Missouri's got too many plays going here?
When they've run the ball and they've done the things that are just their base offense, they pick up 8, 9, 10 yards. I think that going in, maybe they have a little too much where they just need to settle down, run the stretch play.
Downfield on the offense, number 55, 5 penalty, still first down.
Yeah, and meeting with Dave Christensen, he said he was going to try some new stuff, but it seems like the old stuff's working.
Yeah.
Let's just go back to Brad running the option, keeping it, and Wise decision for him to throw it away, but because it flew beyond the line of scrimmage, you get the penalty.
You want Brad Smith to do the things when he's out there because, I mean, you're talking about their leading rusher at 113 yards a game. Obviously, their leading passer, 249 yards a game. And plays like that, they just look uncomfortable with early, and now more movement in the line. And that's probably going to be on Tony Palmer, the left guard of Missouri. And
they need to settle in.
Yeah,
I mean, they're moving the ball. They're rebounding from the interception. They just need to settle in. They look like they're worried about playing the number 2 team in the country.
Take a breath. Just take a breath. See if it's on the offense here.
Prior to the snap, full start. Offense, number 52, still first down.
They'll move it. We'll check in with John Saunders. John, this is going to be a weekend where you get some real interesting matchups. On the carry, Smith, and he'll take that one up to about the 42-yard line. A gain of 4 on that. Smith looking for some running room, and there was not much. Texas trying to adjust to these spreads. The linebackers will make a lot of tackles. Robinson that time, number 39, their defensive end, got in on the hit.
Well, the good news for Texas, although this a little different wrinkle with the no huddle, they have seen offenses like this. They see Vince Young every day in practice. They've seen these splits against Texas Tech, so it's stuff that they've seen before. 5 receivers, big rush, avoids the hit, and it is complete at the 32, the original line of scrimmage, to Sean Coffey. So not nearly enough for the first. It is a 5-yard gain, and it will bring up a 3rd down and long yardage. Yeah, but at least Brad Smith made a wise decision there. He held onto the ball until he avoided the rush, which he does as well as anybody in the country, and he picks up positive yards to put them in a position to pick up the 3rd down. If that's a negative yardage play, you're at 3rd and 20, and it's very difficult, obviously. 55% on 3rd downs. They're running to the end zone. Flags are down, looking deep into the corner. It is incomplete. Had it and lost it before he came down. Ekwu, the wide receiver, the Z wide receiver, has had 3 TD catches this season, not that time. And Brad Smith knew he was about to get an offsides on Texas, and he laid this one up there. Even though the safety was in position, Ekwu goes 6'3", figuring let's throw up a jump ball and see if he can make a play.
Offsides. Defense number 96. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
He's working against Michael Griffin, and Ekwu does a nice job of going up and making a play on this ball. Almost came up with it. Now we go to the 3rd down again, only 3rd down at 4. Again, as we told you, 55% on 3rd downs this season. Not a particularly good conversion rate for Missouri. Out of the shotgun again, Smith on the pitch to the 30. Got to get up to the 20 and does, to the 15 and down to the 14-yard line. Nice carry by Woods. Marcus Woods averaging 6.4 yards a carry. Hit by Bobino, but a 1st down. If you are going to run the speed option, which is what this is, it takes so long for the running back to get to the edge because of the spread and because it gets it so deep. You have to have blocking by look at the receivers downfield at the legs of the outside linebacker with the defensive backs. They've got to sustain their blocks. 14-yard gain, 1st down, looking again on the pitch, carried up and out of bounds at about the 13-yard line. That's William Franklin again, the sophomore. The number 1 Big 12 receiver who is in the backfield is both a running back and a receiver, and again Michael Griffin took him down. So a good drive being put on here. Delighted to have you with us. Home of the Tigers here in Missouri. Number 2 Texas taking them on, and for both of these teams after being idle last week, it is the opener in the Big 12. 2nd down, carried to the 5, inside, touchdown! The handoff in the backfield to Jimmy Jackson. Where did he come from? And what were we saying during that drive? There's nothing fancy. That's just a stretch zone play. And with the incredibly big splits of Missouri, there's all those running lanes. He presses it up to the outside, cuts back, and breaks the tackle for the touchdown. It's just his 10th carry of the season. He'd had only 57 yards. That is his 1st touchdown. That will come on for the extra point. Snap again, not very good. It is up and it is good. That is the 1st touchdown scored by that young tailback who takes it in. And after a fine sustained drive, Missouri's tied it up. Took 3:41 on the drive, and they've tied it up. Let's take a look at our Jeep rushing playbook. Look at the splits of the offensive line. This is a play that everybody's now running in college football. It's the shotgun option. Brad Smith will hand it off to Jackson. If the defensive end on the backside were crashing down, he would have kept it. He makes the correct read, and it's those splits of the offensive line. It just makes the gaps huge. A gap, B gap, C gap working to the outside become double A, double B, double C. Very difficult. If you have an offensive line like Missouri does, it's athletic, you can play those type of splits. The series took 3:41, 11 plays, 87 yards, concluding on the 12-yard touchdown run. The red-shirted freshman takes it home, and Missouri shows they can move the football. Set on the kick. Taylor is back. He will handle it at the 7-yard line. This is a strong Texas return team. 30, 35 to the 40, and all the way up to midfield. And they do that about as well as anybody in the country. Ramos Taylor carries it
He's already had 66 yards and 2 carries before that one. Johnson brought him down after a 43-yard gain. John Saunders. Hey, doggy. Highly offensive day so far into Missouri territory, and down to about the 44-yard line. Brian Carter, a senior, a flanker. He's taken down by David Overstreet after a 6-yard gain. And there you see Vince Young. We've seen him two plays.
Yeah, he got the handoff on the first one.
Maybe the nation's best chance at the Heisman. He can both run and carry the football. He is electric out there on the field. There's no question about it. He is the leader of this team. He is a junior and a very strong runner. They too will work out of the shotgun. Off the handoff, it's going to be enough for a first down. Going straight ahead to Charles again. Let's take a look at the Ameriprise starting lineups. And for Texas, Young is back. He had missed a couple of games. He'll be important in this game in that tailback position, where they've got some runners who can carry the football. Keep an eye in the middle. This is a veteran offensive line that can move people, and they're bigger than the Missouri defensive line. First down and 10. Again, working out of the shotgun. We'll see 3 or 4 running backs. A fumble picked up and dropped off, completed at the line of scrimmage. No, incomplete. It bounced. Well, the quarterbacks are having their problems handling snaps from center. Defensively, we'll take an eye on Williams and Smith. Both of them may be moving up a little bit. Their secondary coverage important. Harrington is their leader when it comes to making tackles. He's had the only interception this year as well. Simpson, outstanding defender who likes to go for the interceptions, may have some chances today if we see the ball in the air by Vince Young. This is going to be a second down and 10. Ball at the 39-yard line. 2 receivers to the near side for Texas, and a flag again. And the offenses for both teams are just on the edge, and they're falling over it here on these calls.
Looks like the first game of the season for these two teams so far.
Penalty for a second down.
You know, you talk so much about Missouri getting ready to play number 2 Texas. There's a lot of pressure on Texas in ball games like this. Everyone wants to write and talk about, oh, they're looking forward to next week against Oklahoma. Of course, they've lost 5 in a row to Oklahoma, but this focused team says they're not, and I tend to trust them, but there's a lot of pressure on these guys. If you don't win this one, next week's not very big.
The 5 total penalties he's already had in this football game. Second down at 15, and another fumble. He picks it up and will be brought down back at the 45-yard line. Missouri defense celebrating on that one. And, of course, created because he could not handle that snap. The second in a row, Jackson, Xavier Jackson, who leads the team in sacks, put the hit on.
I believe there was a flag down on the play.
No flag. The flag fell out of the pocket of the official.
Let's tuck it in deeper.
It's got a hole in the bottom of his pocket.
Tuck that thing in there.
Well, he took his eye off it, and he's looking at the coverage. You know, a lot of quarterbacks don't like to play in the shotgun because when you're under center, you don't have to look at the coverage. Well, when they snap the ball, you have to look at the ball to catch it, and it takes your eyes off the coverage for half a second.
Here's a big third down play. Third down and 14. See what they can do with it here. They are 15 out of 34. That's not a very good ratio either for Texas. A surprisingly low one for third down conversion so far this year. And again,
you know, they're going over like they're going to review this play, and I'm wondering if they're checking with the clock. Picking up the phone and checking that the clock is okay.
A very ragged start to this football game, both because of these sorts of things and because both offenses, even though we've got touchdowns on the board, are struggling to control the football and look comfortable. I'm not sure who that favors, but it's a rough start.
Well, you've got to think it would favor Mack Brown in Texas. You know, if you look at them just on paper, you'd say personnel they're a little bit better. Missouri's the team that you would think needs a few turnovers, needs Vince Young dropping snaps and things like that. But when you're on offense, and Brad Smith looked like he finally settled down, they went back to more of their base offense, and they looked really good at the end of that drive.
Both of these teams have tremendous offenses. Take a look at where they are. Texas scoring. See, rushing they are 2, Missouri's 3, passing 86 and 31. Both of these teams rely on the 3 yards in a cloud of dust to establish the passing game. Big third down now with 5 tacked on. Third down and 16 after the losses. Secondary backs up looking for pass. Big rush put on. Got a lot of room near side. Can't find anybody. Didn't see the blind hit. And he's going to go down in a pile. Right at the line of scrimmage, Jackson again moved in and put the initial hit on, and not seeing it coming, Vince Young, as that came from behind, but he had a lot of time and nobody open.
Yeah, and Brian Smith also in on the sack, a young man out of Texas. Of course, all the Texas players yesterday telling us how much they were looking forward to this game. And it's going to be Smith who gets Vince Young to move up into the pocket, and right here Vince goes to throw. And very lucky that that ball, he was able to wrap it back in. A lot of times you'll see when they decide to pull it back, the quarterback, it gets loose in their hand, and the hit may have knocked it out.
So it's going to be a 4th down. When the punt comes, it'll be at about the Texas 45-yard line. When Pino puts his foot into it here. He tries to hold it short of the goal line. Marcus Woods calls fair catch, lets it go, and it will take a Missouri bounce and be brought back out to the 20. 45-yard kick. Mark Morgan joining us here at the home of the Tigers, and down it
turned out to be the case, and Brad told me yesterday, despite being what he called still a little pigeon-toed, he has suffered no ill effects, and obviously now can run on the football field. And there was a case at one point they didn't know whether he would ever walk normally, much less run.
Well, he has done a lot of running. Marcus Woods was the intended receiver. It goes incomplete. In his career, he's averaged 5.3 yards rushing career-wise, and he's even better than that this season, and he is 9th all-time NCAA quarterback rushing.
You know, it's funny, there's NFL scouts look at where toes point, and they would much rather have a guy with pigeon toe than toes that turn out. For whatever reason, it makes guys faster. If you ever see John Elway when he used to play, his one foot used to be almost 90 degrees turned to the inside. And you can see when his feet fall down, they kind of turn to the inside. And NFL scouts, when they look at receivers, defensive backs, they want to see those toes turned in just a little bit. Another strange thing that NFL scouts spend time in dark rooms looking at.
Frank Oakham, Roderick Wright on the hit that time of Woods. This time looking on the long yardage situation at the 40. That is overthrown. The receiver fell down at the 40-yard line. Sean Coffey, as he made the turn on the button, fell down on it, and it went over his head, was almost intercepted.
Well, Missouri has the new field turf, which has the rubber, and as soon as Coffey, you see the broken up tire kind of start kicking up when they put the brakes on. And you have to learn, it's very consistent. As soon as, the more you play on this surface, the more you learn when it will give and when it won't. And Coffey, who's been injured, not practicing much, looks like he's out of practice of how to tool it down and stop.
Adam Crossett will be doing the kicking. This is going to be a 4th down and 8, standing back at his 10. Aaron Ross will be back for Texas at his own 35. Crossett averaging about 39 yards a kick. That'll be taken at the 40-yard line and up over midfield and back into Missouri territory where Texas will start. And we'll check in again with that one, John. 7-7 here. Selvin Young is in at the tailback now. He's missed a game with a bad ankle, number 22. He's an outstanding runner. Looking out of the pocket over the middle. Got deflected and intercepted. Missouri gets it. That was deflected at the line of scrimmage, and Marcus Bacon, a junior, comes away with the intercept. What a strange start in this football game.
And I believe it was true freshman Ziggy Hood, who not only tipped it, I think he might have got a piece of Vince Young's arm. Vince does not throw the ball very high. He throws it from the side, and that was Hood who tipped it right as it left his hand. I thought he maybe got his arm. Everyone's always trying to change Vince Young's throwing motion. Well, it'll never change. It's like asking someone to walk differently. And even though he's 6'5", Hood did not have to get off the ground very far to get a tip on that.
That is the 5th interception thrown this season by Vince Young. Missouri now gets good field position as they'll start at their own 43-yard line. Again out of the shotgun. Big blitz and down to the 32 and a fumble. Texas did recover if it is called a fumble. Well, no signal yet from the officials.
Yeah, the officials are walking around like they have not decided whether he fumbled the ball or not.
A.J. Kincaid stuck him down for a 10-yard loss. The question is, was he down? Texas players celebrating, and it is.
Yeah, let's take a couple of looks. Remember, most conferences now have replay.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Nothing was down. I mean, we were blocked a little bit there by the down marker, but you could see clearly that neither of his knees were on the ground. So it looked like, in fact, that Brad Smith did fumble.
Wow. So an interception followed on the very next play by a Missouri fumble. Missouri has now fumbled 4 times this season, and they've lost all of them. It is going to be subject to review, as we said. It occurs automatically, and it looks like they're going to take that upstairs. But from what we saw, there was no question that he was not down. He just dropped the football like a loaf of bread.
And if you go back last year against Texas, Brad Smith had 2 turnovers that led to 14 Texas points. Yeah, it's a fumble. There's nothing down on his body as the ball fell out of his hands. So it was the right call by the officials.
And the call on the field will stand unless we have. And
let's get the verbiage correct. It's indisputable video evidence. I've heard so many different ways that has been said.
First down, Texas.
Yeah.
It has to be indisputably clear that the call on the field was wrong.
Not irrefutable.
No.
Not conclusive.
No.
Indisputable.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So it'll be a first down and 10. This is, I guarantee you, this is not the way anybody thought this football game was going to start.
This sloppy? No.
I mean, it's very sloppy. It is very ragged. Both offenses have shown they can move the football, and then also that they can cough it up. So Texas gets great territory right back again. In fact, better on the exchanges at the 34-yard line. It'll be carried up to the 20, heading to the end zone. Nobody there. Touchdown, Vince Young. Quarterback draw. 33-yard touchdown run.
Well, this is the exact same play that Missouri ran for the touchdown. Smith gave it to Jackson this time. It's the fake by Young as he reads that backside end, who obviously crashed down the line of scrimmage, and nobody is home. It's so difficult to be the backside linebacker in this type of play. You cannot chase the ball. You have to stay home because the guy who has the ball and is making the read is far more dangerous than the guy he may hand it off to. That type of play with that type of quarterback, the backside outside linebacker has to be in that hole.
David Pino will go for the extra point for Texas. It is up and it is good. So the turnover off the fumble allows Vince Young to take it in 33 yards. Vince Young, I mean, that's about as easy a touchdown run as he's going to score on the season. And that's the second rushing touchdown that he has had. And a heart-to-heart talk by the quarterback Vince Young with his coach Mack Brown after the Missouri game last year has changed everything for this team and the QB.
It was interesting, that meeting that they had after Missouri. In that meeting, it was not just Coach Brown talking to Vince Young about be yourself, be yourself. Vince Young said, Coach, I want more responsibility too. Not only do I want to be able to be me and have some fun and dance around and laugh and joke, but I also want more responsibility. And as they add more responsibility, more and more of these records are going to continue to fall. He's a superb athlete.
The new Texas record with that rushing touchdown for a quarterback. Missouri again in the end zone. This time it'll be taken by Dominique Johnson and going nowhere. And they will take it on the 20, which actually is better than the 2 return setups that they've had previously. So they'll start first and 10, and this Missouri crowd not quite sure to make of all of this. They know their team's down 14-7, but they're not quite sure how this has happened. I want to remind you the Packers are all at ABC's Monday Night Football. First down and 10. A lot of time here and just thrown out of bounds. In fact, the receiver, William Franklin, was out of bounds. Texas is letting him run along the line of scrimmage, and the secondary coverage is giving him nowhere to go with it.
You know, it was funny talking to Gene Chizik, the new co-defensive coordinator for Mack Brown. Of course, Mack lost both of his co-defensive coordinators to head coaching jobs last year, but he said you can't coach out both sides of your mouth when you're coaching against a guy like Brad Smith. See it first, then go 100 miles an hour.
Brad Smith again on the option play, decides he will carry that one and bring it up over the 20-yard line to the 21. Tim Crowder moved in on the hit. That'll be a 6-yard gain. There's no electricity here, Ed. There's no electricity from either of these teams right now, either on the field or in the stands.
And if you take away the sloppy play, this is about where it would be if it was just a normal game going back and forth. I mean, it's not like they've dug such a big hole that they can't get out of it. It's just like Texas has scored twice, we've scored once. Let's just keep playing ball.
Yeah. Back into the middle, caught at the 32. Taken up to the 35-yard line on the second spin. Chase Kaufman, who is a tight end, a freshman. Kaufman and a flag, 9-yard gain. That probably came after the whistle.
Kaufman, a true freshman, 6'7". You will not see tight ends. They call them quote-unquote tight ends, but they're really slot receivers the way they line up in this new offense.
After the play, personal foul, 4-0 on the defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Is it October 1st or September 1st?
I don't know.
I mean, these teams just look like
a scrimmage game.
And both of them coming off of bye weeks, which is usually at this point in the season where you'd go back to the drawing board, you'd work on technique, you'd work on stupid penalties, things like that. It looks like they took 2 weeks off getting ready for this one.
It's a first down and 10 on the penalty. Ball at midfield at the 50-yard line. Again out of the shotgun. Brad Smith moving up. Has maybe an audible call here. He's got 5. Whatever he wanted, he doesn't get.
Boy, this, settle in. They have a couple of different ways that Missouri runs the no huddle. One, they'll go fast to get the tempo. Other times they'll get a read, and Brad Smith will look over to they'll actually make a call from kind of like Clemson used to do. They'll make a call from upstairs, and then they'll relay it back down. I don't know what Gary Pinkel's so upset about, but it just looks like they're not connecting right now.
They've used Missouri now has used 2 timeouts. The officials are meeting at midfield, and I don't know what that is. Or there were no other flags down. There was no play.
The play clock was never reset. There will not be a timeout charge to Missouri. First down.
Sorry, Coach Pinkel, you were correct.
So
he kept pointing up towards the clock. They've had, to our right, the clocks on this end, they've had problems with their computer programming. So it's the ones to our left, the big Tiger Vision down there that you really need to pay attention to, and that's the one Missouri's going away from.
So it'll be a first down and 10. Brad Smith, 3 out of 8, 28 yards and an interception passing. 5 carries and 38 yards on the ground so far. And again, Smith looking to the option, then drops back, throws to that wide side at the 40-yard line, 35-30, and on the tumble to the 25. They are throwing against the grain. Kaufman again, a 23-yard reception, and Texas is not covering that weak side when they get there with a pass.
Well, and it doesn't look like it early, but this is a fake option. It's just that shotgun speed option, and everybody going over there. And Brad Smith had a collection of receivers. He could have gone to Ekwu, and instead he goes to Chase Kaufman.
First down and 10 at the 30-yard line, and a nice carry up to the 24 by Marcus Woods. That was tough yardage. His 7th start for the sophomore. Marcus Woods, that's tough yards.
And as sloppy a start as this has been, the Missouri coaches told us all week, guys, we're going to be able to move the ball on Texas with this new offense and what we're doing and the athletes we have. And if they can just get everybody settled in, this could turn into a good ball game because it looks pretty easy for them offensively right now.
It's 4 for 28 yards for Woods. It'll be carried near side to the 20, and he slipped, and there's the new carpet again. Brad Smith trying to put a little deke on there, and his feet would not stay under him, and he'd have had another 5 yards.
Faked himself out here. Watch the black stuff go flying as soon as he cuts. And they practice on this field all the time, but there are times when your weight gets out a little, your weight gets a little too far to the left. You're trying to cut back that way, and your feet just don't have enough weight on it.
3rd down and 2. Quarterback keep towards the first down marker. Looks like he got a 3-yard gain. They'll stop the clock and take a look. Killebrew moved in. Aaron Harris and Robert Killebrew will be in that middle linebacker position. Smith now is heading out, holding his right arm down.
Well, they've already had Chase Daniels in the game a couple of times, but he looked like he took a shot on his elbow as he dove forward for the first down.
So Brad Smith comes out of there, 3:56 to go here, and Daniel, who's come in to play quarterback, has been in there as a receiver. He is a 6'1", 215-pound freshman for Missouri. It is a first down and a 10. Missouri again moving the football. Woods the fake to him. Nope, he's got it. And he will take it down to the 16-yard line. Aaron Harris again moved in to put the hit on for Texas.
Well, and Chase Daniel decided to come to Missouri. He was Texas's 2nd choice, and they lost a guy to LSU and asked him to come, and he stuck with his commitment to Missouri. And this offense exactly what Chase Daniel ran at Carroll High School in Southlake, Texas. So this is that's why he's a true freshman. He's able to play. Same language, same read, same everything.
He is 7 out of 15 with 1 interception, no touchdown passes this year. Obviously the backup. Add to that, taken at the 10, and that's where Texas will hit Chase Kaufman. To Kaufman, who is also a freshman, whose father played in the National Football League, also as a tight end. His dad played at KC in Green Bay. His son's in the same position in college, and today getting a workout.
Yeah, Gary Pinkel kind of comes from the old school. Played and coached for Don James at Kent State and then the University of Washington. And it took his offensive coaches, a while to make him realize, hey, we need to play these two true freshmen, Kaufman and Daniel. They're both very good. And once he came around, he realized these are very special players.
3rd down and 2. There's Woods again to the first down inside the 5 to the 2. Marcus Woods turned the Jets on. A 5-yard gain, and they'll spot the ball inside the 5. Brian Robinson put the hit on.
You know, a lot of people around the country looked at Missouri's offensive stats. They're one of the top offenses in the country and said, well, they didn't play anybody. Well, they're playing somebody right now, and they're making it look easy.
Boy, a backup quarterback, Chase Daniel, making it look easy. That'll be carried down to about the 1 again, Marcus Woods. Missouri now has 150 yards total offense. Texas has 46. Texas has the lead because of the turnovers and touchdowns. 1 a fumble, 1 an interception. But they are keeping Vince Young off the field.
And right now they're going a little faster in their no huddle, sensing that Texas is tired. Very good strategic call.
2nd down and goal from the 2. It'll be carried by the quarterback on the keep, Chase Daniel, but he had nowhere to go as the middle of that Texas defense moved in on him.
He didn't read that one right.
Roderick Wright and Frank Oakham put the hit on.
He needed to hand that one off to Marcus Woods. The backside was open, and as Brad Smith comes back in, remember it was his right arm that was hit. If it's numb or anything like that, I don't know if you can call a pass play, but this on 3rd and goal from the 3, usually a throwing down. In
the red zone for Missouri, they're 15 for 15 inside the 20 with 12 touchdowns and 3 field goals. They've never been stymied, and they've gotten inside the opponent's 20-yard line. The option is on. Smith will carry. Touchdown! Make it 16 out of 16.
Well, if you're worried about your quarterback's wing, just call an option. They're making it look awfully easy. If they can settle in and quit giving Texas the ball, they're going to put some huge numbers up on offense today.
Texas has scored as a result of 2 turnovers, the interception and the fumble. Crossett will come on to put the extra point up for Missouri and tie this football game up if he can. It is up, and it is no good. No good. Wow, do those matter? That's the 2nd one he has missed. 5:16 on that drive. 80 yards, 13 plays. Texas up by 1. So the extra point matters. It's the difference right now. Let's take a look at the Progressive Drive summary. This kickoff will be handled at the 20-yard line. We'll get real progressive. It'll be brought up to the 35-yard line. There's no huddle. There's no time.
Nope.
Ahmad Hall that time, the running back for Texas. All right, now we can look at our drive summary.
Well, and you made a comment when we went to break that it looks like Missouri is playing against their 2nd-team defense. They're just making it look easy. All the trick stuff they were doing earlier, none of it worked. So let's just go back to the base offense, and it's been up and down the field for Missouri in this first quarter.
Charles, the freshman, Jamal Charles, number 25, is in there in the backfield. Vince Young finally gets a chance from the shotgun at the 40-yard line and up to about the 41. You look at David Thomas, who is a tight end. He's had 10 receptions. He leads all receivers for Texas in receptions, and that is going to be a 7-yard gain. These two offenses may run up some numbers the way it's going right now. They'll split one each way. We'll see Charles, Hall, and Young all in the backfield at different times today as running backs. Vince Young, this is the freshman on the carry to the 43-yard line. Charles, and he bucks ahead over the 45 for a 6-yard gain and a first down. Good second effort.
Well, in a difficult season last year, 5-6 was the finish. Matt Eberflus, the defensive coordinator, they were very good defensively. They were highly ranked all across the board. They lost 5 guys, all of them at least going to NFL camps, including their 2 starting defensive tackles, C.J. Mosley and Atia Ellison. And it has just not been the same. They're not very big and physical up front. He can't do much in his secondary, and it's just been a very difficult year so far for Matt Eberflus and his staff to get something going defensively.
Clock kicking down here in the first quarter, looking deep down the middle of the field, wide open at the 20-yard line, incomplete. Brian Carter. The Z flanker was out there, the senior, and he had room as he cut back into the middle, but Vince Young could not connect.
Those are ones that quarterbacks see in their sleep. Yeah, it's one of those ones where you try to guide it instead of throw it, because Young saw that Carter had come open in the middle of the field. Great move. Sticks it to the outside, and he makes the defender Marcus King think he's going to the corner, and he comes right back across his face. Young is 65% in pass completion coming into this football game. Big second down and 10. Carried up over midfield. It won't be enough, and another fumble. And Missouri thinks it's got it, but Texas, I think, is on top. And that's going to be the end of the first quarter, and Texas indeed did hang on to it. And there's some pretty good trash talking going on out there right now. That was Jackson of the Missouri defense who moved in on the hit. College football will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations. You're watching ABC Sports Championship Television. First quarter, Texas up by 1. Scored their touchdowns after a fumble recovery and an interception. My notes are correct, and I pray they are. I've got Texas now with 35 points off 6 turnovers this year.
7 in today's game. They had 14 against Missouri last year in that 28-20 game, which was provided the margin of victory.
Texas controlled the ball for 4 minutes and 2 seconds. Missouri for 10:58. But Texas has the lead. It'll be a third down rather, and 4, and that's going to be enough for the first down to the 40 and down to the 30-yard line. What a runner this freshman Jamal Charles looks like he is going to prove to be.
And he's a lot different than what they're used to at Texas. When you look at the careers of Ricky Williams and Cedric Benson, they were make a slight move and run through a defender's shoulder, find half of the defender and run through him. This guy is more in the mold of a Barry Sanders, where you jump from side to side to side, and there's 2 and 3 moves at one time, and you make the defender completely miss. So you're not even running through a part of the defender, you're running to air.
15-yard gain on that one. This one will be a quarterback carry to the 29-yard line. Second effort. Good work by Vince Young. It'll be a 3-yard gain. Young has rushed 5 times for 41 yards.
Well, and some freshmen he is. If you look at the first 3 games of some of the biggest names, not just in Texas football history, but in college football history, he has a UT record for the first 3 ball games as a freshman. 189 yards against Rice, was second all-time between Cedric Benson's record as a freshman, but the way he runs, and with Selvin Young going down, that number is going to keep going up and up and up.
Young may have a hard time getting many carries the way he's carrying the football. Again, after the fake, Vince Young looking over the middle, and it's completed at the 11-yard line, and Brian Carter turns around for a couple of yards and gets to the 10. It'll be a first down, Texas, and we'll find out what's going on elsewhere to move into that number 2 spot. Now held by Texas. Texas, though, has got the football, and they're grinding, and there's a flag behind the play as Jamal Charles is taken down at the 6-yard line, and it's going to be on Texas. Jamar Smith moved in the nose with the tackle.
Lyle Sendline, who's the only new starter on this offensive line, I believe they're going to get him for holding.
Hold. 62 on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
So Texas will have it moved back. Texas in the red zone, 13 out of 14 with 11 touchdowns. Both of these teams, when they get into that scoring lane, have been able to convert. And both of these offenses are moving the football.
Now it's only first and goal from the 20.
That's right.
It's not too bad.
All spotted back. Texas being hurt by penalties early on here in this football game.
Big screen. If you're Missouri, watch for something short that could pick up 7 or 8 yards. They need to make this a manageable down and distance.
Vince Young, and another whistle and a flag.
There was movement on the left side. I believe it was Thomas, the tight end.
This will be the 6th penalty called against Texas, and we've just started the second quarter. And another 5 yards. It's going to be first down and goal, 25-yard line.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 16 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
The spring football over there.
I think so. I think this is October.
Wow.
Yeah. They got to. Both teams. Yeah. They just need to get focused in.
Well, first down and goal to goal, as funny as that sounds, but the ball spotted at the 25-yard line. Vince Young, 2 receivers to the left side with Carter very wide, and a quarterback draw. And he'll be taken down at the 26-yard line, a loss on the play of 1. Young had no room as David Overstreet, who leads Missouri in tackles, put the hit on.
You know, sometimes guys put too much weight on their own shoulders. Watch the left side of the line. Run right at the umpire. I know the cornerback was blitzing, but Vince Young saw a ghost. He needs to just take that right up in there. If he runs at that umpire, he probably picks up 6, 7, 8 yards. Instead, he tries to run away from the blitzer, who already has a head of steam.
Selvin Young has come into the backfield now with Vince Young. Long yardage to the goal line. Big rush put on. Good block to free him up. He lobs one into the end zone on a Hail Mary. Intercepted. No, incomplete. Out of bounds. Almost caught and almost intercepted, but it was out of bounds. Big play by Dominic Johansson that time, the red-shirted freshman.
Well, and it was a late hit by the safety coming over. Johnson, he put his helmet right on the ball and knocked it loose. Otherwise, this is a touchdown. Not a great decision by Vince Young. He floats this up there. The cornerback's looking at his eyes the whole way. Boy, that looks like a catch to me, guys.
Yeah.
If we have any more angles, we may have to take a look at that.
The review will go on until the next play.
And remember, they review every single play. And this is a reviewable type play.
Boy, Texas is taking their time here, because once this next play starts, that last play is in the books.
I'm a little shocked that the referee is not getting a buzz right now to take a look at this. That one looked like Carter may have come down with it.
3rd and goal from the 26-yard line. Into the pocket, over the middle, open, caught at the 4. And a fine tackle made on Billy Pittman. Billy Pittman, the catch, the sophomore, for a 23-yard gain. But it brings up a 4th and goal from the 3. And the clock is running. He's unhappy, Billy Pittman is, that he didn't get into the end zone.
And I think this is a great call by Matt Brown. You're on the road. Your team has not been playing well. If you want to be the #2 team in the country, 4th and goal from the 3 with an athlete like Vince Young, I believe this is the right call.
So the Missouri defense will be challenged right here. No wide receivers.
Play action.
They're going to go to the near side, and right there's down.
He fumbled the snap.
Again.
He just cannot. I wonder if something is going on with this football, Gary. There has been such sloppy ball handling so far in this game. And I was thinking they were play action pass. They bunched everybody in. And it looked like Vince Young was taking that, was just going to go with a quarterback sneak from the 3-yard line. A little difficult to score, but he has had just trouble hanging on to the ball, both him and Brad Smith.
There it goes. He recovered it and then tried to dive, but there was nowhere he was going to go. He had his knees on the ground when he picked the football up. So it'll be Missouri's defense with a little help. The fumble hanging on, and that will go as a fumble recovered, but it doesn't matter. Missouri gets it. Now the Texas D, though, could hold him in. They work out of the shotgun. Smith on the carry to the 5, and that's where he's going to be stopped. He is down. Frank Oakham on the hit. Mark, how about the football down there? Is it slippery?
Gary, apparently not. I spoke to members of the Texas staff, and they say the players are not complaining about the ball being slick. But as you and Ed have pointed out, especially on that last exchange, that looked just like a pretty basic exchange that Vince Young just dropped. But according to the players and the information here on the sidelines, the players are not complaining that the ball's slick.
I think Vince Young's tight. I think he likes to play loose and free, and I don't think he's loose and free right now. I think he's got a lot of things going on in his head.
Smith throws that one to the 11-yard line. It'll be a first down. That's a big play. Arnold Britt, a senior wide receiver, a 13-yard gain. That gains some breathing space on a first down.
Well, you go back to this offense, and the teams that they played, Troy, Arkansas State, and New Mexico, they put on 35 points on New Mexico. It was a much better team than people think. Of course, it was turnovers, 3 turnovers by Brad Smith that lost that game for them. But a lot of people said, are these numbers for real? And you're starting to see that they are.
Brad Smith lobs it. He wants the defender to be beaten. The defender would not be beaten. That's one you're hoping the receiver can get behind Sean Coffey that time, but not going to happen.
We had another flag fall out of a pocket.
We got slippery footballs, slippery handkerchiefs. As the flag, twice we've had flags come out of the officials' pockets. That's pretty good coverage.
I feel like I should tether myself so I don't fall out of the booth.
I'm tightening my belt here so my shirt doesn't come out. That was Terrell Brown, the junior, on coverage on the Texas defense. Texas's passing defense is number 9 in the nation. Almost another cough-up. Smith to the far side, and there's nowhere to go. He had a one-handed, and there goes the football.
What is going on?
Another fumble. Texas got it. Another Missouri turnover. And Texas again will have great field position at the Missouri 21-yard line. Michael Griffin recovered. 2
of the best quarterbacks running and passing in the country. Yeah, ripped it right out. I mean, there's just no excuse for that. I can't. I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen 2 quarterbacks who have this much trouble hanging on to the ball in really kind of simple situations. Vince Young had a shotgun snap, hit him right in the chest. Brad Smith has fumbled twice when it looked like he had the ball locked away. This has just really gotten out of hand.
4 turnovers combined and 8 penalties, and Texas has another chance after a turnover to score. That's where they're getting their great field position. Vince Young's going to be loving this. On the carry, flags are down, 15-yard lines, where Vince Young is going to be stopped. But again, the flag came in the backfield of Texas.
Yeah, they got Mike Garcia, who's come in at left guard.
Hold. 51 on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Well, near the conclusion of today's game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team. Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. It's a heck of a football game. Texas is number 2. Missouri's not ranked. It is the opener in the Big 12 for both. And Texas has the 14-13 lead, but it is one of the strangest first halves that I've seen in a college football game for a while.
Well, it is technically the first Big 12 matchup of the season because of the early kickoff, and it feels like it's the first game of the season for both squads.
So Vince Young in there, first down and 20 now. He'll move under a rush, gets away, throws wide open at the 10, the 5, and touchdown. Jamal Charles, the freshman, this time scores on the reception.
Well, they told the true freshman out of Port Arthur, Texas, if you're going to come to Texas and play early, you have to be able to do the things besides running with the ball. Pick up the blitz, learn your blocking assignments, and get out of the backfield and make a catch. This is a phenomenal catch by Jamal Charles. A lot like the one he had against Ohio State. He led the team with 6 catches in that ball game as he spun around to keep his balance and score. It looked like he was going to fall on the floor. Tremendous athletic ability.
Texas has now had 3 one-play drives. I mean, it is phenomenal. This one is up. They're getting the turnovers. They've not had to establish any kind of rhythm in their offense. They get the turnover, and they score. This one, touchdown pass, first touchdown pass reception for the young freshman. He has scored now, Charles, both on the ground and in the air, 2 of the touchdowns, 21-13. The progressive drive summary.
3 times now, 1 play. And all 21 points directly from Missouri turnovers. Missouri offensively has been unstoppable. They just have to quit putting it on the afterturn.
Texas hasn't had to play at all offensively in this game. And now Missouri will get the football back. A high scoring first, a very short kick. That will be handled at the 10, up to the 15, in good field position over the 20, Arnold Britt.
Well, you always know that a guy who ran for 1,000,000 yards in high school at Memorial High School in Port Arthur, Texas, you always know they're going to be good at running the ball, and you see those things. But one thing that was really neat was Dean Colbert, the coach at Memorial High School, knew that for Charles to go to this level and play, that he was going to have to learn how to block. And he actually took Jamal Charles, his best player, and put him at fullback for a game during his senior year, and he has really picked up the little parts of the game, catching the ball out of the backfield, blocking, and that's why they're able to play him so much.
He's the best player on the field here in the first half. At this point, Marcus Woods on the carry, trying to get to the 25 downs, up and over to the 27-yard line. Woods has created yardage in this game. Aaron Harris, their leading solo tackler, as well as their leading tackler overall, on the tackle there.
And we wish the Charles family the very best. Port Arthur, Texas, they have not been able to move back into their home. He said it's going to be another 2 to 3 weeks before they have power, and his family is going to be able to return to their house.
They'd be proud of that young man, though. He's going to show up on the radar in college football. 3 receivers to the right side, 2nd down and 7. Into the pocket, Smith avoids 1 tackle and will be taken down at about the 27. Only a 1-yard gain. Aaron Harris again moved in to put the hit on. Time now for the Aflac trivia question this week. Here's the issue. Reggie Bush of USC, one of 3 players to rush, pass, and throw for a play of 40-plus yards last season. Who are the other 2? 40-plus yards, passing, rushing, throwing.
Well, we're showing a visual hint. One of those was a red herring.
That was a red herring. All right, it'll be played back on this 3rd down and 5. Smith looking, a big crowd, and down he goes. Brad Smith, Aaron Harris has been on the last 3 tackles. That one for a 5-yard loss. And sometimes this Missouri offense looks as though everybody's running a different play.
Well, that was a timely blitz by Gene Chizik. Chizik, of course, came over from Auburn, where he was the assistant coach of the year on the Frank Broyles Award, 2004. And that time he brought a nice blitz, and they were able to pin him in. When you bring that much pressure against a guy like Smith, everybody better stay in their lane, or there's going to be a seam for him to run through.
Rosser will be back to punt for Missouri at about the 10-yard line. Return set up to the near side of the field. Aaron Ross, 40, spun around and doesn't get back there. The 39-yard line is where it will be taken over. A 40-yard punt, a 1-yard return. The beautiful plaza here on the campus of Missouri. On a very summer 21-13 for Mack Brown in Texas right now. It's just trying to get this whole thing settled down, and the same holds true for Mizzou here.
Missouri needs to stop here. They had offense first time they've really not done anything the last time Missouri was out there. In this defense, they got worn out a little bit trying to chase around Vince Young. They didn't get much rest.
Selvin Young is in the backfield with him up to the 40. Selvin Young, another flag, and that'll be at the 46-yard line when he's brought down by A.J. Kincaid after a 6-yard gain.
I'll just take a stab and say hold.
Okay.
Yeah, just gonna.
Wow.
Maybe.
Texas has had the ball now 7 times. This is the only time, only the 2nd time they've started in Missouri territory. All those turnovers, 3 of them that have created the touchdowns, have had.
Hold. 63 White on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
8th Texas penalty. Yet they lead it 21-13.
Yeah, that's what 3 turnovers by Brad Smith of Missouri will do for you.
So that is going to bring up long yardage situation. 8 penalties, 65 yards Texas, 2 and 10 for Missouri. But for Missouri, it's the turnovers that are right now killing them.
And it's so difficult if you're Matt Eberflus, the defensive coordinator for Missouri. You know, this is a situation where you think, let's try to get another negative play, maybe bring a blitz. But when you have a guy like that, you're so afraid that he can just break something. And right now, to me, back off and make them earn this first down.
Vince Young with it. He will drop back in the pocket, moves to the near side. Containment pretty good, but completed over midfield and out of bounds. Fine catch by David Thomas. Couple of receptions he's had, an all Big 12 first-team player last year. It's going to be his 11th reception of the season and a first down. Our Aflac trivia question. Reggie Bush, USC, one of 3 to rush, pass, and throw for a play of 40-plus yards last year. Who are the other 2?
Well, we showed you Brad Smith and Vince Young. So you'd think maybe those 2 guys, and you'd be wrong if you thought that.
We are misleading yet one more time. A first down in Tech for Texas. First down. Little slant pass near side, and a gain of maybe 3 on that. That'll be Ramonce Taylor, the sophomore, his 8th reception.
Just in time, Mr. Taylor. Nice job.
That's why we waited.
Yeah.
We knew he was going to get that pass.
Taylor's an amazing athlete. He came in as a running back, actually played running back some last year, and was a running back through the spring and early fall because they didn't know how good Jamal Charles was going to be, and they also brought in Henry Mountain, another freshman, and now they're able to take Taylor. They recruited him, wanted him to be a wide receiver. Now he's more at his natural position. 2nd
down and 7. To the 40-yard line. Young, there goes another flag. He was close to the first down marker before Kincaid drove him out of bounds. Tough yards, Texas now. This is the kind of game we often expect to see from Texas, where they run that football right at you to try and bring that secondary up and open up the passing lanes. But what are you calling here, Ed?
There's a lot of discussion going on. I'm going to hold off on this one. Oh, illegal chop
on Texas.
Yeah.
Coming up, the Valvoline F.
Arizona State, I think, in their remaining schedule, may be the best team they're going to play. If they go on the road in the heat and have a convincing win, I think you just punch their ticket for the Rose Bowl. But I think Arizona State offensively they can keep up, but I just don't know how you outscore.
No.
I mean, with Bush and White and Jarrett, Bird, they just have so many weapons.
And a quarterback.
Yeah, he's okay.
He's all right. Yeah. All right, we've got a 2nd down and 7. Well, that ball moved back, 17 rather. 2nd down and 17. Out of the shotgun, Young, big rush, and he's going to get sacked all the way back to the 29-yard line. Striker Shulock did just that.
Well, and the reason it's such a big loss is Vince Young is backing up to buy time to throw a screen to the running back. Selvin Young steps up and he's going to work with his offensive lineman, and he gets just tackled by the defensive lineman. Should be defensive holding. They never ever call that. I mean, it's a missed call, but they don't ever call that defensive holding.
Well, Texas is now going backwards. The 1st down marker is up at the Missouri 37-yard line. Texas has the football on their own 34, and a timeout, Texas. Texas has the lead, 21-13, but the Missouri defense trying to rise to the occasion and get the ball back in good fields with extreme long yardage to be gained here on this 3rd down and 30. 3rd down and 30. They are back at their own 33-yard line. 2 receivers to the left side. Vince Young out of the shotgun, looking down the middle. He's got a lot of receivers and a ton of time. Now he'll run this. They gave him half the field, and he may be able to get the 1st down. He does!
Oh, man.
Up to the 32-yard line.
How do you defend that, Gary?
Jackson on the hit, but a 33-yard rushing gain.
And it was everything Greg Davis, the offensive coordinator, called 4 vertical routes. And there was no way that the Missouri defensive backs were going to allow Vince Young to throw this over their heads. Well, what happened was the offensive line, because of the 3-man rush, gave him plenty of time. So as those receivers were beyond the sticks, when he took off, the defensive backs couldn't react. And the 6'5" long strider picks up 30 yards like that. You can't make the play.
1st down and 10 for Texas. What a big 3rd down play. Young again wants to carry. Comes to the 30, makes the turn, 25, and driven out of bounds. The 24-yard line, A.J. Kincaid. And now you see the running game of Vince Young. This is how he can just annihilate a defense. They know he can throw the football, but when he starts running it, you're in trouble. Great to have you with us here at Mizzou, where right now we've had one of the stranger first halves we've seen in a while with Mark Morgan and Ed Cunningham. I'm Gary Thorne. Texas has scored 21 points, and all of them have come on turnovers. Missouri has had some substantial drives, controlled the football in time of possession. They've also missed an extra point, Missouri has. And Texas, the number 2 team in the nation, has the lead. Young has now rushed 9 times for 83 yards for Mack Brown's Longhorns.
Mack Brown had a great quote the other day when we were on the phone with him. He said, you know, when Brad Smith graduates from Mizzou and Vince Young has gone from Texas, Gary Pinkel and myself are going to wonder what happened to those go the wrong way yards. Because it just seems like with guys like Smith and Young, you've got 3rd and 30. You run everybody vertical thinking, you know, we'll just heave one up, and even if it's intercepted, who cares? It's like a punt. And, well, wait a minute. They do a 3-man rush. We've got plenty of time, and our quarterback takes off and runs by everybody.
Really amazing.
Just the way they draw it up.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, it's amazing. What do you do?
Texas in this series has won the last 3 against Missouri. They lead it 14-5 in the series overall and won last year. And our Pacific Light game summary. Young on the prowl, 192 total. TD. Brad Smith, TD, 115 yards combined, though. 11 penalties, turnovers, 4, and they've mattered. And a strange summary in a tough football game, especially for the defensive units. This is going to be a 2nd down and 1. Split receivers. They're going to go for the first down, though, and they're going to get it. That is Selvin Young on the carry. It'll be a first down 2-yard gain, and we'll check in the game by getting on the board early and forcing Michigan State to come back now. They've done that. 5:11 left here in the first half. First down and 10. Going again on the carry. Selvin Young getting a chance. Got to wonder, how's this competition? It may work to the betterment of everybody with Selvin Young and the freshman Jamal Charles at the tailback.
Happy birthday to Selvin Young. Wears number 22. The Libra is 22 years old today. And when he took his when Jamal Charles took his recruiting trip, they were hanging out together, and Jamal said to Selvin, he said, "If I come here, will you be my big brother? Will you look out for me?" And Selvin Young has passed on what he got from Cedric Benson onto the young man. He said, "We're not worried about the competition. We'll make each other better, but we're best friends."
On the second down carry, a lot of room to the 9-yard line. Selvin Young again. And that's going to be enough for the first down, a 7-yard gain. 231 total yards for Texas now, 158 for Mizzou.
And the biggest thing that Selvin Young does for you now that he's back is you may not see him much today because he's not quite 100% from that ankle injury he suffered against Ohio State is in the return game. Big-time punt returner, big-time kick returner.
They have got a first down and goal as the ball is officially at the 9-yard line. Carried just there, and maybe a yard gain for Selvin Young again. He'll pick up one. Good work by Jason Simpson, the senior. 33rd start for Simpson in his career, and he moves in and makes that tackle.
You know, this is the second time that Texas has had first and goal in a position where they couldn't pick up the first down, but it was basically 10 yards. Last time they had some penalties that backed them up deep.
It's a big touchdown if they can get it here.
Absolutely.
This is the 12th play coming on this drive. Vince Young will work under quarterback. Jamal Charles now has moved into the backfield on a second down and 9. Fakes it, gets a rush, puts it to the end zone where it will be incomplete, and he got hit. Brian Carter was the intended receiver, but way shy of the flanker. Young under pretty good pressure right there.
Well, and Missouri knew second and goal from the 9 that was an all throwing down. And even though they went with a little play action, nobody bit, and Vince Young wisely threw that away. And again, now you are in that territory. If you're the defensive coordinator, Eberflus for Missouri, you would think this is going to be an absolute 100% throwing down, but Gary Pinkel and his staff have to get their defense ready. That with Vince Young, a quarterback draw right here would be a wonderful call.
Third down and goal. Young, 7 out of 12, 109 yards passing. He has had one interception. Missouri fans cheering on the defense. They're spread out here. Receivers left side. Young gets time, lobs one to the end zone on the money. Touchdown! Brian Carter. No. Waved off. Bobbled it. Did not have possession. Carter is arguing about it. But the official ruling is he did not have possession in the end zone.
Well, and we had one earlier in the game where Carter looked like he did catch it when the safety hit him. Let's take a look and see as he spins around. Does he have control of it? No, didn't look like it. Looked to me like the ball hit the ground as he spun around.
How about this? That could be an enormous break for Missouri because he was open.
And now Mac Brown sending in the field goal team, which is the right call on 4th and goal from the 9.
David Pino is the field goal kicker. He is 4 for 4 in field goals. His longest a 42-yarder. This is a 26-yarder with 3:25 left to go here in the first half. David Pino for Texas. Kick is up. And it is good. So Pino 5 for 5. But the Missouri defense able to hang on and frustrate Vince Young, who thought he should have had a TD, not a field goal out of that. Texas on the Pino field goal extends their lead, 24-13.
Take a look at the day that Brian Carter is not having. In the first quarter, Vince Young gets one over the top, and it was the late hit by Dominique Johnson. But to us, it looked like Carter came down with it. And then this one, I believe the officials got right. As Carter spun around, it didn't look like he had control of that ball as it hit the ground and came out.
And so Missouri will get the football back. They still have plenty of time here. 3:22 left to do something with it. That is fumbled at the end zone by Johnson. And Texas has had the clear advantage on these kickoffs as 3 times they have held Missouri inside the 15-yard line for the point of start. The average start in this game, Texas has started at the Missouri 42. Missouri started at their own 14.
Field position and turnovers. They are coaching cliches because they're true. Brad Smith has a couple of fumbles in there with that interception.
He's out of the shotgun here in a 1st and 10. Tries to carry off tackle. Maybe we'll get a yard out of that, but right into Frank Okam, the sophomore. Okam wants to be an orthopedic surgeon. Playing football in a defensive line, you'll probably know all about bones and bruises.
So when he breaks someone's leg, he can set it for them. No, don't worry, guys. I got this one.
I got it. He made the tackle, and there was actually a loss of a yard on that. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 11. Got to throw it. Got plenty of time over the middle. That's going to be completed for a 1st down. That's Martin Rucker, the tight end, for a 15-yard gain.
Well, Martin Rucker is the tight end last year. He was a freshman All-American. His older brother Mike plays for the Carolina Panthers. Nice job. He's got both of these tight ends, both Rucker and Kaufman, the true freshmen. They're very dangerous, and they can put both of those guys in the game at the same time.
Missouri wants to get down at least for a field goal opportunity at the 32-yard line, shy of a 1st down. Rucker again. He's had 12 receptions on the season now for over 120 yards, 9 on that gain.
Well, the good news for Missouri is they're constantly in the no huddle.
Yep.
And so here with 2:18, 2:17 left and both timeouts, they're just in the normal offense that they would run anyway, so they're in a comfort zone.
Brad Smith, couple of completions. Brings the backer in. He wants to carry himself and will move the ball up maybe to the 34, a gain of 2 as he gets taken down by Frank Okam again, the sophomore, on the carry. This Texas defense, especially up front, much bigger than that Missouri offensive line.
And it's good to see for Missouri fans that the offense has come back out and found a rhythm. They had such a great rhythm in the 1st quarter, and then things just went south with turnovers and Texas kind of taking over the game. So good news, they're moving the ball again.
5 receivers, 1st and 10, over the middle in the slant to the 40 and down to the 47-yard line. 3 in a row for Rucker. He's getting a workout here, a 13-yard gain.
All right, we can't call these guys tight ends anymore. They're slot receivers. I mean, you know, it's like what Oklahoma used to do with their tight ends. Oh, they had our tight ends had 70 catches. It's like, no, coach, your slot receiver had 70 catches.
And they continue to move receivers into this game. 4 of them, 3 split to the right side to work out of the shotgun here. Brad Smith again fakes up the middle with it, looking deep, going to get a rush, going to dump it, and it'll be out of bounds. Threw that one away as he was getting hit. Coffey, the intended. That time a good decision. He didn't have anybody open. Our Valvoline halftime show is coming up. John Craig and Aaron will be along with a special look at the training tool the Arizona State Sun Devils are using, preparing to take on the #1 team in the nation. It's all coming up. We've got a minute 37 left here in the 1st half. This is going to bring up a 2nd down and 10. Nowhere near field goal territory yet. Again, 5 receivers. 3 on that wide side, and that's thrown incomplete, and that was either a wrong route or the quarterback who didn't know the route because he threw it behind, coming out of the backfield, Marcus Woods.
Well, and they're still working out some kinks in this offense. This is completely revamping of what they did. Nothing's the same. The language is different, everything. So they've had spring, fall camp, and this is their 4th ball game of the bye week. There's still some things that some of these guys are trying to figure out.
4 for 7 3rd down conversions. This is a 3rd down and 10. Brad Smith, and another bad snap, and it'll be all the way back to the 33-yard line.
Well, Adam Speaker has just had a very, very difficult day. And with the struggles that Brad Smith has already had hanging onto the ball, that just has no chance. I mean, that's outside to Brad Smith's left.
Now the officials are conferring here. I do not see a flag down on the field, but there's a conference going on at the 40-yard line. It'll bring up a 4th down.
Sideline warning. Sideline warning. Against Texas, please put the clock to 1 minute and 25 seconds. 1 minute and 25 seconds.
Texas coaches and players were getting out onto the field. You see right there where they are, and they went over and warned them. That's what that was about. They've got us. They're supposed to be back beyond that white.
And you know who gets yelled at for that? The get-back coach.
Yes.
Every team has a get-back coach. It's usually the strength coach for Texas. It's Mad Dog. But 400 pounds, and I'm surprised that the players are not listening to the get-back coach at Texas.
It's one of those creep things. Guys creep up towards the sideline, and before they know it, they're on the field of play.
I thought you were calling them creeps.
I would not do that ever. All right, clock is running again after they reset it. Aaron Ross will be back for Texas at his own 22-yard line. Rossett will come on to do the punting, averaging about 39 yards a kick. And after that loss, it'll take Missouri's kicker all the way back to the 20-yard line. And now a timeout is going to be taken by Missouri. So they have used a couple of timeouts and will wait on the punt.
Well, there's something on the football. I wonder, they call it the pigskin. I wonder if it's bacon grease. It's really uncanny, Gary. I mean, you've been covering this game a long time. Neither quarterback seems to be, and it's not other guys who are having problems with it. Everybody else, the receivers, the running backs, they're fine. It's just the quarterbacks and occasionally the centers who are having trouble putting the ball where it needs to be and hanging on to it. Not been a very good day. And if you're Missouri, you know, the fans around here and everybody's talking, saying against the #2 team in the country, they'd have to play, quote unquote, the perfect game. Well, it hasn't been exactly perfect. Good news is, though, this new offense has looked really good at times.
All right, Mark, I hope you're standing up and haven't fallen down yet. Mark Morgan.
Yeah, I was going to say, Ed.
You know, I used to play center, and I'd go in occasionally, and you'd go to grab the ball, and it would just literally just right out of your hand because they didn't get the cover. There's usually a film on it when they ship them, and they rub that off before the game, and I just haven't changed that. But guess not.
Pretty good rush for it on. Crossett with a tremendous kick. It'll go out of bounds at the 20-yard line. So no return there after a 47-yard punt. As Adam Crossett puts it back, Texas will take over. 53 seconds left to go in the half.
And I don't think it's kneel on it time here. I know that you don't have great field position, but you're the #2 team in the country, and quite frankly, lucky to be up 24-13 right now, the way Missouri played on offense in the first half. And it's Texas's offense right now, I think, that should use their 2 timeouts, use the 53 seconds to try to get some more points on the board.
Vince Young comes in at quarterback. He has had 4 200-plus yards rushing games in his career. He's carried the football well here today. And he's going to look for the bomb. On the sideline, that'll be at the 25 and out of bounds at the 27-yard line. A 7-yard gain. Billy Pittman. Texas wants to hurry it up. Pittman, the sophomore, had a big game against Ohio State. 5 receptions and 130 yards against Ohio State. Pittman will stay in. A 2nd down and 3. 32 seconds left to go here in the half.
Well, you either go for it or you don't. That took entirely too much time.
Vince Young, again, the pass, trying to get out of bounds over there. He will. It'll be a loss.
No,
though.
they said his forward momentum had stopped, and that was a freshman mistake. Use a timeout. Timeout, Texas. Well, okay, you're going to let the clock run. Half's going to be over.
Jamal Charles on the reception. He's had a TD on the ground and one in the air today for the young freshman, and Texas is just going to let this go.
Yeah, well, and I don't blame him now, but if you have the timeouts, and Vince is looking up there, he pointed at the board, and he is disappointed because, Coach, we have 2 timeouts. Mack Brown does not let his players call it unless they look over the sideline and get it. Vince Young very disappointed. And I agree with him. I think they should have used those 2 timeouts and at least tried to get the midfield, throw one up.
Strange first half. Let's get down to Mark again. Mark?
I'm with Mack Brown. And, Coach, you have a double-digit lead, but how do you account for maybe the penalties and the overall sloppiness by your squad and by Missouri?
Well, I think it's 2 teams that are playing really hard. There's a lot at stake. It's the first conference game. We're on the road. We're excited to have a 24-13 lead.
What is the main thing you feel you need to tweak in the locker room at halftime coming out for the second half?
Well, I don't know why we're having all the penalties and they aren't, so we'll have to look at that for sure. We're forcing a lot of turnovers, and we've taken care of the ball, which is important. We need to get something out of this first 5 minutes of the second half.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Mark.
All right, Mark, and indeed they did. 21 points for Texas off turnovers. And it's a 24-13 lead. Valvoline halftime show's coming up right after these messages.
Settle in.